Thanks for visiting fantasyomatic.com. Here's a brief tutorial to help you understand how to evaluate this red zone data. First of all, you see that we've got a column here for the teams in the NFL, all 32 teams in the NFL, and each row represents data for that team. If we look at Arizona, for example, I'll give you a breakdown of what each column means. The first column is an offensive scoring column. So this means that in 2010, the Arizona Cardinals scored a touchdown in the red zone 13% of the time. So they converted their red zone opportunities for touchdowns 13% of the time. That's just the one column is the offensive category. The other three columns are the defensive category. So these are aggregates of all of the teams that they will face in 2011. So these are all of the defenses that this offense will face in 2011. So what this means is in 2010, all of the defenses that the Arizona Cardinals will face this year gave up 47 red zone scoring attempts. And those same defenses that they're facing allowed scores 24 times, which equates to 51.9% of the time that their opposing defenses allowed the offenses that they're facing to score a touchdown. So basically what you do with this data is really concentrate on this last column. So if you click on the last column, and then you'll notice down here you've got the ability to sort these. Always sort descending. What this is going to do is rank all of the offenses in the NFL for the opportunities that they could possibly have or will likely have to score in the red zone. So if we look at this, Miami is number one, and they're pretty highly ranked at number one. So what that means is all of the 16 teams that the Miami Dolphins will face in 2011, all those defenses that they're going to face, the aggregate percentage, the average percentage of red zone scores allowed, they allow 60% scores when the offense is in the red zone. So what this says is that Miami has a pretty darn easy road against their opponents in 2011. So you can concentrate on fantasy football players on Miami offense and know that they're going to have a pretty soft schedule against defenses as far as how well those defenses hold offenses out of the end zone when they're in the red zone. So basically, look at Miami, Oakland, New York Jets, Chicago, San Diego, New England. These are all teams that are going to have a pretty soft red zone strength of schedule. But don't get too excited on this information because look at this column here as well, red zone touchdown percentage. Notice that these top three teams, Miami, Oakland, and the Jets, also have extremely low red zone touchdown percentage. So they really don't convert that well as far as in 2010. So if these teams show some improvement, or these teams' offenses show some improvement in red zone scoring in 2011, they could really have some great opportunities against the defenses that they face. You might want to concentrate, though, on Chicago, San Diego, New England. New England is one of the top red zone scoring teams as far as 2010 is concerned, and they have a very top-tier red zone strength of schedule. So New England's going to perform really well this year. San Diego's going to perform well, and even Chicago. One thing I want to point out that's really interesting is Detroit is tied with New England for the highest red zone touchdown percentage conversion from 2010. So if Detroit gets their offense together, Stafford stays on the field, they could be a real surprise red zone scoring team. You also want to look at this from the bottom. Teams that did very well in scoring last year, Cleveland, Houston, Baltimore, even Cincinnati from a running game standpoint, they all face very tough defenses as far as keeping the opposing offenses out of the red zone. So these are offenses that you might not want to get too excited about in the 2011 season. So don't pay too much for these offensive players. The other thing about these charts, and the same with any chart that you see on our site, is that this little bottom right-hand corner button will allow you to download any of the data that you see here. You can download it as a workbook and work with this data any way that you'd like. Certainly, we will have a lot more red zone analysis and all sorts of fantasy analysis coming. In particular, we've got some red zone articles coming up very shortly. So if you want to be the first to find out about this information, follow us at Twitter at fantasyomatic, and we'll give you all the updates on all the upcoming red zone posts. Thanks for visiting Fantasyomatic.